Today, we're going to crack the code on supply chain management. We're breaking this whole complex world down into 5 simple, really powerful strategies that you can start to get your head around and even use right away.
You know that feeling, right? That little jolt of excitement when you see your packages out for delivery? Well, that's it. That's the magic of a great supply chain, working perfectly behind the scenes to get you what you want, when you want it.
And it's really a tale of two worlds. When a supply chain is humming along, it feels like magic. Things just show up. But man, when it breaks, we all feel it. Empty shelves, those super frustrating delays, it's a mess. The stakes are way higher than you'd think.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We'll quickly hit on why this all matters, then we're diving straight into our 5 pillars. Seeing everything, building strong friendships, mastering your inventory, embracing simple tech, and always planning ahead. Sound good? Let's do it! First up, pillar number 1. This one's all about seeing the big picture. It's called end-to-end visibility, and let me tell you, it is the absolute foundation for a smart supply chain.
I love this analogy. Trying to run a supply chain without visibility, it's like you're driving across the country with one of those old, torn paper maps. But with end-to-end visibility, bam! It's like you have a live GPS. You see the traffic jams, the detours, the shortcuts, all in real time.
And why is that so important? Well, for one, you can spot little problems before they blow up into huge disasters. You can also give your customers accurate updates, which builds a ton of trust. And, maybe most importantly, you start making smart decisions based on what's actually happening, not just a gut feeling.
And getting started, it's way simpler than you might think. Seriously, you can just start by mapping out your chain on a whiteboard. Then, pick up the phone and actually talk to your partners. And then, you bring in some simple tech. We're not talking about some million-dollar software here. Okay, so we've got the what and the where covered with visibility. Now let's move on to pillar 2 and talk about the who. This is all about the human side of things, building really strong relationships with your suppliers. You know, the old school way of thinking was to treat suppliers like they're just interchangeable cogs in a machine, people you squeeze to get the lowest price. The modern way? You treat them like they're part of your team. They're your partners.
And the payoff for this is huge. When things inevitably go wrong, a partner calls you to figure it out together. When things get crazy busy, guess whose orders get prioritized? Yours. They can even come to you with incredible ideas for innovation and saving money. It's a total game changer.
So how do you build that kind of trust? It starts with the absolute basics. Pay on time, every single time. It's the #1 sign of respect. Talk to them regularly, and not just when you need something. And when you negotiate, aim for a deal where you both feel like you've won.
All right, let's move on to pillar number 3, mastering your inventory. This is such a critical piece of the puzzle. It's all about finding that perfect, kind of delicate balance between having too much stuff on hand and not having enough. Think about it like a really skilled chef in a busy kitchen. They have every single ingredient they need for the menu, but they're not letting expensive food just sit there and go bad. That right there is the art of inventory management. So to get there, you got to get a handle on a few key ideas. First, know your ABCs. Not all your products are created equal, right? Some are your A-listers. Then, you have to truly understand your lead times. How long does it really take to get more of something? And that leads us to focusing on your star players.
Which brings us to this really powerful concept, the 80-20 rule. Turns out, for most businesses, something like 80% of sales comes from just 20% of the products. You have got to figure out what that top 20% is for you. Those are your star players, and you can never run out of them.
So where do you start? First, just do a simple physical count. See what you actually have. Then, for your most important items, set up an automatic reorder point so you're not guessing anymore. And finally, you got to be a little ruthless about clearing out the stuff that's just collecting dust.
Okay, let's talk tech. Pillar number 4 is all about embracing simple tech. And I have to stress the word simple here. We're not talking about complex, expensive systems. Think of technology as your helpful assistant.
And what's really cool is how small these changes can be to make a huge difference. You're not trying to replace people with robots here. We're just talking about upgrading from a paper notebook to a cloud spreadsheet, or from tracking things by hand to using a free project management tool.
And the wins are immediate. A shared Google Sheet means everybody, literally everybody, is looking at the same info. A simple tool like Trello can give you a crystal clear visual of where every order is. And a cheap inventory app can send you an alert before you're about to run out of something critical. It just makes life easier.
And that brings us to our 5th and final pillar. Always plan ahead. Look, The world is an unpredictable place, so this is all about building a supply chain that's resilient, one that can take a punch and keep on going.
Seriously, just let that question sink in for a second. What if they did? A flood, a fire, some political crisis halfway around the world. This stuff happens. Do you have a plan B?
This is the absolute core of being resilient. It's a simple habit, but it's so powerful. It's called scenario planning. All it is just regularly asking yourself, what if, and actually thinking through the answer. It's an exercise that prepares you for the unexpected.
The goal here is to build flexibility right into your system, so don't put all your eggs in one basket with a single supplier for something critical. Have different transportation options lined up. And for your absolute must-have items, keep a small safety stock tucked away as an emergency buffer.
So that's it, our 5 pillars. And I know it can seem like a lot, but I want to leave you with this one final thought. A great supply chain isn't about achieving perfection overnight. It's about making small, consistent steps forward. It's all about progress. So my question to you is, what's one small step you can take today?